Oh, whoa. All right, everybody. Greetings. Hope that you're doing well today on this beautiful Sunday, San Diego. Yes, indeed. What a beautiful day. Anyway, so we're going to get right into this subject today. We're going to talk about the Shriners. Today, we're going to talk about the Shriners, the Daughters of Sphinx, Isis, or Daughters of Isis, and the ancient Egypt order, Arabic order nobles of the Mystery Shrine. I hope I didn't mess that up too bad. All right, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Shriners and their daughters and that thing. Yeah, we're going to have this conversation today. So greetings to everybody who's coming on. I'm not going to be talking in regards to who started what first. We're going to talk about what it means to be a noble and a daughter, the attributes of what it is to take on such a way of life. That's going to be this conversation. I hear a lot of brothers talking about I'm a nasty noble. You know, it's cool. I mean, I camel walk. I enjoy the festivities. I have a good time with it. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't. I'm looking at it from the inner workings of the temple, not the outer workings of the temple, because a lot of times we hear that, oh, your shrine, oh, that's the playhouse of Freemasonry. That's the playhouse. That is the biggest lie that has ever been told in regards to the nobles and daughters. That is not a playhouse whatsoever. Not. No, I don't know. I do know. I'm going to get into it. I do know. I was going to say I didn't know where it comes from, but I do know where it comes from. I do know where the miscommunication happens and why we tend to look at the daughters and the nobles as being a playhouse, as being a place of fun, relaxation, drinking. I know where it comes from, but it was something. Hey, greetings. Hey, Brother Muhammad. Boy, man, look, Dwight, man, I seen the video, bruh. I seen the video. Yeah, I seen the video, bruh. Congratulations on the new members that came through. You know exactly what you're doing. I appreciate you. But what we do with the nobles is that we mix that thing up. It is such BS right now. I mean, as I'm gonna go back and say this, do I like being a noble? Yes. Have I camel walked? Yes. Have I partaken and enjoyed the festivities? Yes. But that doesn't give me the right not to tell you the truth in regards to the creation of a daughter or noble, or the making of a daughter and the creation of a noble. That doesn't give me the right not to tell you the truth. That doesn't give me the right to hide it. It doesn't give me the right to go along with the lie. That doesn't give me the right. As a noble, someone who's created, someone who's supposed to have a different perspective on things, I'm supposed to be a look up the word noble, one with honor, one with dignity. Being able to portray, being able to be that person of nobility and the characteristics that comes along with it. I can't continue to carry on a lie before my daughters and before my nobles and think that it's okay. It is not okay. Greetings, how you doing? To be a noble and to be a daughter is something special. Let me run it to you this way. When what we know today as the Shriners first came to the United States, as far as that is concerned, it said Florence Williams was responsible as far as introducing that here into this country, because on his visit to Arabia, he saw these gentlemen with the fezzes and how they was dressed. And he thought that it was a festivity. He thought there was some big party or something happening. He did not know that they was on their way for a pilgrimage. He had no clue. So once he I'm not going to say received the ritual, but once he watched as they went through a ritual, then it was compiled and he misinterpreted the things that was taking place as they was on their pilgrimage. And when the rituals was developed, there was a lot of things that was added that wasn't supposed to be in there. It wasn't supposed to be in there. So what you get now is a watered down, very playful, very it's another word I'm looking for. You don't get the essence of the beauty of being created because it's been tampered with in such a way to you missing what you're going through in order to get to a certain place. You see? Oh, Dr. Walter Flemings, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So as you are on this journey, as a noble, you see, on this pilgrimage that they was on, they was headed, I can't, Brother Dwight, help me out for a minute if you can. The place where they have the cobble, and they walk around. I can't think of the exact location or the name, but that's, okay. Mecca, thank you, I appreciate it. So on this trip, or this pilgrimage to Mecca, when they was headed there, they was dressed a particular way. And they couldn't understand why they was dressed this way. So they took this and they watched them and they made this degree up based upon what they seen with their own eyes and didn't understand what was actually taking place. The Hajj was taking place and they couldn't grab that. So when they compiled their information and brought it back to the States, it was bastardized. It was bastardized. And now you have us who are nobles, we're doing everything but the right thing. And I'm not criticizing nobody. I'm talking about me included, okay? I'm talking about being a noble for, oh my God, since 1990. Yeah, being a noble since 1990. Not really understanding the journey, the essence of being created a noble. I knew it was something great, but it took me a minute to grab hold to it, to break it down, to understand it, to absorb it, to get into me. And now that it's into me, I want to share with you the essence of being created a noble, or the essence of being made a daughter. See, and you have to look up these words too, nobles, and you have to look up the word daughters. And we're talking about going to the shrine, and what does that mean? We're going to the oasis, and what does that mean? We're walking the hot sands, and what does you have to look at the meaning of the process for which you go through to become a daughter and a noble. But we've flipped it, and now we want to party all the time with it. We want to throw the fezzes up, and we want to camel walk. We want to do all of that. And look, there's nothing wrong with having a good time. It's how you have that good time, okay? It's how you have that good time. No, I'm not drinking. This is a ginger beer. you know. It's strong too. So look, so this is what we have to do. So as a noble, you're going through the different passage in order to get to Mecca. So I'm in my workings as a noble, we have 18 passages, or rites of passage that you have to go through in order to get to Mecca. Okay, we have those. However, some of them I don't like, and I don't introduce that to the nobles that I create. I don't introduce that to them because that's bastardized what being a noble means. See, in the teachings of the ancient Arabic order nobles of the Mystery Shrine, and I can speak on that because that's where I was created at. You are taught for prayer at least a minimum 3 to 5 times a day. You are taught that. It's in there, and I'm telling you what's in there. And you take on the attributes of a Muslim. That's a fact. That is a fact. When you become a noble, hear me clearly, you take on the attributes of a Muslim. Look at how you're dressed when you are made a noble. Look at how they identify you when you are made a noble. A woman can't be a shriner. There's no way possible that she could be a shriner. None. She could be a daughter, she can't be a shriner. Because of the attributes that we have in the way of identifying, hey, no, you can't come this way. You can't come this way. No, sir, you can't. You see, just as those who will get ready to go on the Hajj, you're dressed like that. That's how you're dressed as a noble. And when you begin that journey, there are different rites of passages that you have to get through in order to get to the well of Zemzem, and in order for you to get to the spring, in order for you to get to Mecca, you got to go through something. And it doesn't have to be all. I'm gonna say this: you don't have to put your hands on any grown man to teach them a valuable lesson in regards to educating them on the rites of passage and the works of becoming a Muslim. You don't have to do that. And I can assure you, when you become a noble, it is a rites of passage for you to enter into Islam. I can assure you of that, based upon your own ritual, based upon the information that's in there, based upon going and looking for myself. It dives right into it. I'll tell you what, if you don't believe me and you're a noble and you have that ritual before you, you go back and you read it for yourself. And then you holler at me. Because some of you have forgotten, Allah Akbar. What does that mean? What does that mean? When you salute the potentate, what does that mean? Why do you salute the potentate that way? What does it mean to have your eye pierced? What does all of that stuff correlate in this journey as a noble? See? My personal journey in this ancient Arabic order, nobles of the Mystery Shrine, meaning that it's ancient in its customs and the rites of passage to get you to a place for the embetterment of you becoming truly who you are. You didn't catch that. You didn't catch that. See, the journey of the noble and being created is to get you to a place so you can identify exactly who you are. That's why in this jurisdiction, in order for you to be a noble, you have to be a Knights Templar and a Sublime Prince of the 32nd degree. And once you have those 2 degrees under your belt and you obtain the creation or become created a noble, it gives you a better perspective of the workings that you've gone through to obtain the nobility or become one of nobility, one of discipline, one of action, one of the workings to be to that which is achieved in your journey. I'm just saying, when I was done reading and really meditating on this particular conversation I'm having with you today, it took me someplace, to identify. How do you identify? Because to be a Muslim is not necessarily a religious thing. And I say that, and I'm going to say to be a Muslim, it's not even about religion. At all. At all. I mean, if you're going to indulge in it and read it for yourself, no. I have a whole nother perspective in regards to Islam. I do. And it's different from that of my perspective as in Christianity. And both has a high moral road that you can take. They do. However, in the Islamic practice, it's a different beast. It's a different. You gotta go. You gotta go. And if brothers was really truly who they claim to be as a noble, if they was really a noble, yeah, if you was a real noble, I mean, if you was real about it, there's some things that you wouldn't necessarily put up with, and that's including me. There were some things you wouldn't necessarily say about another noble, including me. There are some things that it's different. When I go to the mosque here in San Diego and I fellowship with my brothers from the nation, and they introduce me to other brothers from Islam, not necessarily the nation. I mean, because like I told you, it's different. I have been introduced to brothers from various Islamic background, and I say that because I can't think of the different. I don't want to say the different practices within Islam, because I think you have Shiite Muslims and you have another. Brother Dwight, if you're on here, help me out. If you're on here, help me out. I can't think of it right now. 4 p.m. Western, 7 Eastern. I'm sending you a link. Okay. Can't think of it right now. But anyway, what I've learned here is that when I received my first holy book, it was something special to me. When I say holy book, I'm speaking of my first, it's not the Bible, it's the other, Quran. When I first received my Quran, my very first Quran was given to me by a co-worker here. And he broke that whole thing down to me because he knew that I was involved participating and going to the mosque. He knew that. But he wasn't part of the nation, although he was Muslim. And he broke that thing down to me. He told me to continue my journey. Here's your first Quran. And he told me some things that's written in Arabic could not be translated over into English. So they did the best they could to give you the correct meaning of the word. Although it may be a little corrupt, but they did the best they could, because languages and words sometimes can't be translated into another language. It just can't be. It can have similar meaning, but it just doesn't give you the essence of what it really is. Okay? So this is why sometimes when you read the Bible and you go get other Bibles and you compare to what it's saying, the wording doesn't necessarily come together. To be a noble is to have a higher moral principle. Absolutely. 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 So as we journey, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button for me, I appreciate it. So as we begin this journey, as a noble of the mystic shrine, when you begin to go through the rites of passage, in all of those rites of passage that you go through, you are going to come to the conclusion of understanding why the Philistines, or why why Israel and the Palestinians are at war right now. It gives you that perspective. Hear me clearly. I said, and you can go read this for yourself, and you can research it for yourself. You would have a better perspective of why you have the Palestinians and Israel upset right now, based upon being a noble and understanding that issue over in the so-called Middle East. It will give you that, because I will tell you right now, and you can go do your own research. Israel as we know it today, was a created state. It was created out of thin air. It was a created state. It was taken from the Palestinians, okay, taken, and they'll continue to take that land from them. Now, unless you are a noble, and I say unless you are a noble and you indulge yourself and you see for yourself, you have another perspective, you know, of Islam. You will definitely have another perspective of Islam. And then that perspective gives you a better perspective to me from a Christian point of view. It would do that. It did that for me. Because now I understand you have these two fractions over there warring, okay? Literally killing and fighting for years and years from somebody who tried to take their land based upon false information that was told to them. The information was false. And being created a noble gave me that perspective. I'm just honest. I mean, in the beginning of my journey as a noble, man, in the beginning, I was like, I was tripping. I ain't gonna lie, cause I was just happy to be a noble. I was just like, I'm a noble. Oh my God, I was doing. Man, look, I was turning up. That's the truth. But as I matured, hey, bro, you got to go back. Brother Dwight Muhammad just put in what is a noble. He just put that in. But as I matured, my whole perspective changes. I understood why the fez was burgundy. I understood why the tassel hung low and how long the tassel. And once I understood that, I understood why we had the crescent upon the fez. If you turn it sideways, it gives you the flag of Islam. I understood the five-pointed star, but in this jurisdiction, we don't have a five-pointed star. We have the Maltese cross with the 32nd double-headed eagle. That is the representation of understanding why now your next journey would be that of becoming a noble. See, this right here, okay? This right here, if you can see it, give you a close-up. Okay, this is what we have. No, I'm gonna turn this around. There you go. This is what we have on our fez. All right, right there. Okay, and this hangs down too. So we have both of these emblems are on our banner as a noble. And the reason we have both of them on there, it gives you a breakdown of getting to that destination we call Mecca. Because when you are a Knights Templar, you swore to Christianity. When you became a Knights Templar, you swore to Christianity. When you became a Knights Templar, you swore that. You swore that oath to Christianity. If you don't believe me, you go back and read your obligation, because you went from a Knights of Malta, Knights of Templars. There's another knight. There was knighthood. There was 3 different types of knighthood in there that you had to go through in order to become a Knights Templar. And once you got there, you took on the Apostle Creed. You said that creed. Go back and look at the Apostle Creed. You said that creed. If you didn't say that creed, then you're not a true Knights Templar. You're not. And then once you become a Knights Templar and you become a noble, you understand that as a noble, you swore as a noble that you would protect your brothers from the Christian faith. You said that. You said that. And then as a Knights Templar, you said you would protect the daughters. You said that. But you didn't know what you were saying. You just took that obligation because you was just trying to get these degrees in. You was just trying to get them in. I think the Knights of Red Cross, yes, the Knights of Red Cross, thank you, the Knights of Malta, and then the Knights of Templars. However they go, whatever order they go in, I don't have it before me right now, but you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. So nobody wants to hear that though. You know. So when you get to when you get to Mecca and begin to understand why that journey happened like that, it brings everything into perspective. It sits president. It sits right there and you say, oh, I got it. Now, granted, I understand why some brothers say, "Oh, I love my potentate and I do X, Y, and Z." I get it. I get it. I get it. But as a true noble, as one who respects the brotherhood of nobility, there is no place for that in the temple. There's no place for it. Now on the outside, you won't turn up, but you have to be respectful about it. You can have a good time. There's nowhere saying that you can't have a good time. It's how you have your good time. Is Moorish history studied as a noble? I'm not sure. I'm only speaking from that which I'm a part of, and that is the ancient Arabic order nobles of the Mystery Shrine. So I can't speak on something that I'm really not indulged in. And I see you put in Street says, is Moorish history studied as a noble? Could you know what? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. The Moorish history, if you're gonna bring in that from that perspective, yes. But I'm strictly talking today in regards to one who is becoming a Shriner, as we call it here in the States. Uh, and it really shouldn't be called a Shriner. It really shouldn't. Hear me clearly. It really shouldn't be called a Shriner. But that is something that Flemings brought back over with him, and then it was just adopted because a lot of us didn't know any better. We didn't, and once it was introduced to us through John G. Jones, uh, he had his own way of doing the rites, and his way I kind of like it because of it builds you up. It doesn't necessarily tear you down as some would like to bring forth. But I know some people have added some stuff in there, and it shouldn't be in there. But that's neither here nor there. That's what they do. That's not what I do. So walk with me for a minute. So we get here to this place of the ancient Arabic order, nobles of the Mystery Shrine, and we find ourselves uh, at the temple gate, trying to get into Mecca and not having the correct passwords to get over into it. You know. But I tell you this: to be a noble is to really put yourself in a position of honor. I mean that. And that is true. I really sincerely mean that. So what we have to do is apply the workings as a noble to that as we build each other up. We have to do that. It's to know behind each degree. Sometimes we have to go back to understand. Absolutely. I 110% agree with that. I do. I do agree with that. You do have to do that. Hold on just for a minute. Just for a minute. Hold on, everybody. Welcome to the county entry. Enter your important. You have clocked in. So here we are, talking about the ancient Arabic order nobles of the Mystery Shrine, and what it is to be a noble, and how does this apply. And I would tell you that when you become a noble, your thought process as Christianity will change. I would tell you, when you become a noble, your thought process as a Christian will change. You won't be beating up anybody else because they're not. Excuse me.
Yeah, sure.
It's okay. I just want to grab a mask real quick.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you. So this is where we're at. Charles, what's going on, Charles? It should help you to see the bigger picture. Absolutely, there are 30 some things I know you have, But the beauty of it all is that if we can see that in the construct of becoming a noble and applying the teachings of Islam, because that's what you're going to apply. What's up? That's exactly what you're going to apply. When you become a Muslim, when you become a noble, you apply the teachings of second Knights Templar. Well, when you become a Knights Templar, you apply the teachings of Christianity in your life. When you become a 32nd degree, you apply the philosophy of war life. Y'all didn't catch that. I'm gonna say this one more time. When you become, hey, how you doing? When you become a Knights Templar, there you go. When you become a Knights Templar, you can ask the question, yeah, go ahead, but when you become a Knights Templar, you apply the teachings of Christianity in your life. You do. Okay? When you become a Knights Templar, you apply philosophy in war. When you become a Shriner, you apply the teachings of Islam in your life. Although you're a Christian, you apply that because you go and you take these obligations, and it all applies to become a Muslim through rites of passage. That's what it does. It gives you a rites of passage to Islam. Because you talk about, I ain't gonna go into all of that because I'll be giving up too much, but you don't go back and read that, so you don't get that. You don't get it. You don't have it. It's plain and simple. You know, what I try to do here with the brothers here is the information that I have before me is to share that, is to give that up. You know? That's what I want to do. That's what I want to try to get across. And in getting that across, I want to be able to teach them how to apply that. You know? That's what I want to do. I don't care about your jurisdiction. I'm going to say that over and over until someone gets an understanding of what I mean. I don't give a hoot about what jurisdiction you're in. What I care about is you understanding what you're a part of. You know, if you're truly going to call yourself a Mason, an Eastern Star, a noble, a daughter, if you're truly going to go through all of that to call yourself, then you got to embrace it all. Embrace it all. Love it all. And let's have that conversation. You know, let's have that genuine conversation piece. That's what you got to do. Let's see what I got. Islam isn't the club of a rep that a hypercube, meaning a form of slave person. Okay. I, self-Lord Master. There you go, Charles. Greetings to everybody who's on. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming out, hanging with me today. I just wanted to give you and share with you information that you can go back and research for yourself and tell me, hey, that's not right. That information you gave me wasn't correct. That's is all I'm trying to do for you, is to wake you up in the sense of letting you know that you're a part of something that is genuinely bigger and what's being brought forth. Greetings. You know, it's genuinely bigger. But until you go and do your own research and break it down and indulge yourself in it, you're not going to get it. You'll always go based upon what someone else has said. Well, he said, no. What do you say? What did you find? I'm sharing with you what I found in my journey, what I'm finding in my journey, because I keep discovering things. Man, let me tell you, what I really get out of Masonry is I keep discovering shit. I mean, through all of the readings, I mean, real stuff. I'm not talking about, in 1960 this or 1950. I'm talking about some real legitimate things and ideas that is still applicable today. Man, it blows me away. It really does. And then when you discover the workings, I mean the true essence and workings, it's off the chain. It is really, really off the chain. And then when you take and you apply those workings, it's really blowing up now. But most of us can't do that. Most of us don't do that. So look, ready to log off, please hit the thumbs up button. I appreciate you hanging out with me today as we both uh, 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 grow. Okay, it's growth, man, and I just pass on the information that I find, and hopefully you go back and you find more information. You apply that information, you share that information, you pass it on to the next brother or sister, and then in that way we all grow, we all learn, and that becomes the beauty of being a Mason, an Eastern Star, a noble, or daughter. If that's the journey. But until you are able to get there, you're gonna always be at odds. You're gonna always be at odds. See, I'm no longer at odds anymore. I used to be. I used to be one of them. Oh, I was that guy, but I'm not that guy anymore. I don't. I get fired up sometimes. I still do, but I can't be that guy anymore. I can't be that person that's worried about what somebody else is saying. I'm this or I can't be that person no more. I have to move on in order to show you, to show myself, this is what it really is, versus what someone else has told me, versus everything else. And I'll share this with you as I get ready to log off in a minute here. I was ordering some food on Saturday, and the brothers from Prince Hall came in. They're holding their convention here in San Diego, and they're holding their Noble convention here in San Diego. And I had on my, just so happens, it was the weirdest thing, I had on my Shriners uh, jacket, and they had on their Shriners gear, jackets and things like that. And they came in, and my wife's like, "Is there a convention?" I'm like, "No, we ain't having nothing." And they came in. I was like, hey, how you doing, Noble? They looked at me and, "Hey, Noble, how you doing?" And we had this great conversation. They actually said, "You Prince Hall?" I said, "Nope, I'm ancient, free, and accepted." "Oh, we all brothers." I was like, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, I'm part of the ancient Arabic. We all brothers. We all nobles." It's like, "Oh, okay." Then, I was like, "Well, let's get this picture. Let's show some unity." "Oh, man, yeah, let's get the picture." My wife took the pictures and everything. And then one brother came over to me. He said, "Look, bruh, I watch your videos. I see what you say, and you're right." He said, "I want to offer you condolences because I remember one of the videos you did, you had a brother to pass away." He said, "I'm going to offer you condolences. I just want to say, continue the good work." And I'm here to tell you, that bullshit that we see on the internet and all the back and forth, that's not real. And I'm saying it's not real because that only showing you the ignorance of those who have not yet matured. And that was including myself once upon a time. I'm not gonna kid you. I was that guy in them groups firing that shit off. I was that guy. However, we all should be able to look back on our life and see the growth. If you can't look back on your life and see a growth or a pattern of matureness, you something ain't right. Something ain't right with that. You should be able to do that. Hear me again. You should be able to look back on your life and see the growth and matureness the progress that you made. And if you can't do that, that tells me you haven't been working. That's all that is. You haven't done anything with your life. Man, how is it you're going to be a noble? How is it you're going to be a daughter? How is it going to be an Eastern Star? And you hadn't put any of those things into practices to see if this is legitimate or not. How you gonna be all of that in these organizations? You haven't applied none of it. You don't even know if it's real or not. You just in it. See, I know it's real because I apply it and test it. I tested it, so I know it's real. And that's the beauty of my journey, That's the beauty. I know it's real. And I know everybody don't like me, and that's okay. Everybody ain't meant to like me or follow me. It ain't meant, and I'm okay with that. But what I'm not okay with is how people take this organization and bastardize the organization. I'm not okay with that. So I have to, as a person who's a Mason, who's an Eastern Star, who's a Shriner, who's all of these degrees that I have behind my name, I have to take that and be the example. I have to do that. Because no matter where I go, if I have that compass and square on, ain't nobody asking me about no doggone jurisdiction. All they know is, oh, he's a Mason. Oh, he's a this, or he's a that. That's all they know. So I have to be the example of my jurisdiction. I have to be the example of the essence of what it is that I claim that I am. If I'm a Christian, set the example. You know, you're Muslim, set the example. That's all you have to do. And when people see that, then they have a better picture of how one is supposed to be and carry themselves and apply the very knowledge that is given to them in this walk. That's what they do. So look, I got to get back in here. Enjoy your day, and whatever you do, stay out the bushes, keep your light on, and remember this. I'm not your study guide, but I'm here to help you study. Peace and be well. I'm out.